when Terry McAuliffe was running against the Cooch, Ken Cuccinelli, I said a day before the election, in fact, Monday of this week, that, hey, you know what? If this election turns out to be an upset or closer than people expect, the Republicans will have a handy talking point to go to. In fact, let's go to the videotape. By the way, if you're looking for any upset, it might be that one, and everybody would be shocked if it happened because McAuliffe's been leading in 38 straight polls, and they would all say, oh, the resurgent Tea Party and Cuccinelli and center right. No, no, no. No, what people can't stand is establishment guys like McAuliffe. McAuliffe is the only one who could possibly lose this race to Cuccinelli. Okay, and guess what happened? The race was a lot closer than most people expected. No, McAuliffe did not lose to Cuccinelli, but he only beat him by 2.5 points. And then afterwards, immediately, the Republicans jump in it. And of course, with the media very happy to help out, saying Cuccinelli almost won. Obviously, right wing is right, the Tea Party is right, and this was a referendum on Obamacare, and Obamacare lost. In fact, the headline from a Politico article is, Obamacare almost killed by Terry McAuliffe. Because you see, if Terry McAuliffe won, but he won by less than people in Washington expected, and hence he almost killed Obamacare. Then Michael Barone writes, the Obamacare rollout fiasco and Obama's lies hurt Democrats, and referring to the McAuliffe election. It hurt him so much he won. And then the campaign strategist for Cuccinelli said, Cuccinelli framed the election as a referendum on Obamacare. Okay, great. Then I guess it means we're keeping Obamacare. And that you guys are going to shut the fuck up about it. Because Cuccinelli lost. See, they live in an alternate reality. It's amazing. You didn't win. You didn't win. You lost. Your guy, guess what? The Cooch, he's going to go down. He's going to go down. All right. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. All right. He's not going to the governor's mansion. He's going home. So the referendum on Obamacare says that we should continue with Obamacare. Here's Larry Sabato, very respected pundit in political circles. Nationally, something for everyone. He's analyzing the election from Tuesday. Moderate Republicans got Christie. Democrats got McAuliffe plus possible ticket sweep. And Tea Party got closing Cuccinelli. In other words, the Tea Party wins because their guy closed in at the end. You know you don't get half the governorship for that. Like, this, it doesn't, wow, he closed in at the end and then lost. Good job, Tea Party. Do you see how the media works? It doesn't matter who won or lost. Everything is even. You know, I've said this in the past. If CNN covered sports, every game would be a tie, right? And it's true for all of the mainstream media. They're like, well, you know, McAuliffe beats Cuccinelli, but Cuccinelli almost won, so we're going to call that a victory for the Tea Party. You see, a victory would be if you won, but you didn't. You lost. But I told you before the election, if Cuccinelli gets close, they're going to say, oh, yeah, the right wing, that's right, Obamacare sucks. The right wing is ascendant. There comes the Tea Party. He didn't even win, and they said it anyway. And as Ezra Klein points out, Greg Sargent points out, as I point out, no, the only reason that Cuccinelli closed in is because Terry McAuliffe is a terrible candidate. He's never won anything before. He seems like he oozes pro-establishment, you know, Wall Street money, you know, and he barely beat the anti-blowjob candidate. It doesn't say anything about Obamacare. In fact, if you look at the exit polls, it shows you that. People were only slightly against Obamacare in Virginia, and that was not the primary reason they voted. Among the people who voted, 27% said the health care law was their top issue, and of those, Cuccinelli won them only 49 to 45. So that's a tiny, tiny difference. And once again, let's remember, they lost, McAuliffe won, and one last thing. Remember that general sweep that Sabato kind of mentioned in an offhanded way? Democrats in Virginia won the governorship, they won the lieutenant governorship, and it looks like, according to the latest count right now, they've also won the seat for attorney general. So they literally won every seat. And somehow the mainstream media spins that as a victory for the Tea Party.